Our second piece for the chapter is also based around an ostinato pattern. However, this time we're going to explore modulation, and specifically modulating by thirds. Very briefly, when we modulate, we're changing from one key to another. To see this in action, let's first look at our ostinato pattern. So I'm going to zoom in right here on the viola and cello. We have a 2-measure phrase, and it starts on D, and we're basically in the key of D minor. We have D, E, F, climbs up to F. It's using the D minor scale. And notice at the very end we have the B flat going to A. So a very good case for D minor. One thing to note about this is we're using the same rhythm pattern actually that we used in our last example. This is the 3-3-2 rhythm. So if we look at the direction of this ostinato, the direction of the melody, it goes up for 3 notes, and then up again for 3 notes, and then we have 2 notes. So if I play this, it sounds a bit like this. That's our basic idea for the ostinato. So we're in the key of D minor. Great. Now let's look at what happens in measures 3 and 4. We have the same shape of the ostinato, except we're starting on F now, and we've modulated to the key of F minor. So now we're using an F minor scale. So we have F climbing up to A flat. And then at the very end, right here, it simply walks up the scale there. Now, one thing I'll mention is that we haven't written any key signatures, and that's just a choice that we made. I suppose you could write key signatures. There's nothing wrong with that. But because we're changing key so briefly, we decided simply to write in accidentals instead of changing the whole key signature. And that's just a choice we made. So let's continue. So just to recap, we started in D minor. We moved to F minor for 2 measures. And then let's see what happens in measures 5 and 6. We modulate again. So we have the same melodic shape, except now we're starting on A flat. So we've modulated to the key of A flat minor. So we have even more accidentals. We have a C flat. And then, guess what? We modulate again. So in the final 2 measures, we move up starting on B. So now we're in B minor. So that is just a little overview of what the ostinato pattern's doing here. I'd like to talk for a minute about some of the other elements that are in this piece. We have the piano almost acting in counterpoint to the ostinato. It's simply supporting the harmony and adding more notes, more rhythm. And you notice the piano changes as the ostinato changes. Everything is modulating at the same time. Up above, we have our chord staff, which is providing an overview of what's happening harmonically. So when we modulate in measure 3, we see we have F minor over C. And I'll talk about the bass in just a second. We have flutes and clarinets, which are also supporting the harmony, and this continues throughout. Okay, so let's talk about the harmony and modulating by thirds and what that really means. Quite simply, when we're in the key of D, D minor, D is our tonic. Over here, we're in the key of F minor, and F is the tonic. So the notes D and F are a third away from each other. Specifically, they're a minor third away. On the piano, it's a distance of 3 half steps. So we can say that we're modulating by thirds. We're modulating from the key of D. We're going up a third to the key of F minor over here. Notice that when we move to F minor, our chord analysis says it's F minor / C. So that means it's an F minor harmony, but we have a C in the bass. And sure enough, if we look at our low brass and contrabassoon over here, you'll notice that it's playing low Cs instead of F. And I think what this does is really compelling. In our first measure, we have D minor with a low D in the bass, right? So the piano, the ostinato, the flutes, everything is supporting D minor, and the low brass and low winds are playing that low D. Over here, in measures 3 and 4, everything modulates up to F minor, but now our bass moves down to C, down from D in measure 2 to C in measure 3. Notice the bass doesn't simply play F. So it's as if the bass moves in an opposite direction to the harmony. And I think this makes for a very compelling chord change. So let's take a look at what happens in the next couple measures when we modulate to A flat minor. Our bass note right here is on E flat. So once again, it's playing the fifth of the harmony instead of the root of the chord. And then we have another interesting chord change right here. Our harmony modulates up to B minor. And instead of the bass moving to F sharp or even moving to B, it moves down to D. So our bass is moving from E flat down to D. So again, our harmony and our bass are moving in opposite directions. One final note about this is common tone modulation. So over here in measures 3 and 4, the flutes and clarinets are sustaining A flat, which is part of the F minor harmony. But then notice they play A flat again in measure 5 over here when we modulate to A flat. So A flat is common to both the F minor chord and the A flat minor chord. Because of that, we can use A flat to create a smooth modulation. And we call that a common tone modulation. So just to recap everything, we start with an ostinato pattern that uses the 3-3-2 rhythm once again, and we're in D minor. We have piano that helps support. We also have winds, upper woodwinds that lend that harmonic support, just playing sustained notes. And then we have our bass line. And instead of repeating the same music, we take the same ideas and we modulate them. So we take this idea and we basically modulate it up a third from D minor to F minor. And as we do that, we're also changing the bass.